guys, welcome to the Skuid App-etizer webinar. We're glad you're with us. Thanks, that whole music just gets me dancing. So these Skuid App-etizers are really just kind of bite-sized, short introductions to cool things you can do in Skuid. Obviously, hopefully we're whetting your appetite for a fuller meal. But we just want to show you some quick things that you can do in Skuid that we think are really cool. My name is Rob Hatch. I'm a product manager here at Skuid. Work alongside a couple of the other people that you've seen on these App-etizer webinars before, helping make our product better. Today, I want to introduce Andrew Snead, who's also a familiar face here in these App-etizer webinars. Andrew is a pre-sales engineer building super cool solutions for our customers. So I want to talk just a minute about what we're going to be showing today. We're going to be showing today features that are actually available as part of our upcoming Boston release. Boston is the next name of Skuid release. We've had lots of different thematic names, and we're choosing Harbors as the new name of our release. You can actually get Boston today. Boston is a release candidate for the Boston package version is available on our releases page. Go to skuid.com/releases, and you can install Boston into your sandbox dev org, and you can do the same things that Andrew's going to show you today in your org. We look forward very shortly, like in a matter of weeks, of making the call on Boston being ready to be GA, be the primary version of Skuid that you download from the Salesforce App Exchange and other things like that. You should expect to see a pretty big kind of media marketing campaign around Boston, landing pages. We'll do an intro webinar, so that you'll expect to see that in the next week and a half. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew and take it away, man.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Rob, for the introduction. So today's theme of the App-etizer, it's going to be taking control of their field experience on Salesforce with Skuid. And we're going to go over adding interactions from a template field, creating modals so you can edit related records, and also create like a custom reference field experience for creating new records. And I think at the very end, we'll kind of dive into using conditional formatting of field values. So hopefully, yeah, if we get through those other three, we'll get to the conditional formatting, and it's gonna be awesome. Before we jump into Salesforce, I do want to share a demo of the Boston release. 1 second, let me share my screen. All right, let's see. There it is. All right. So you should be seeing a Boston header. I'm just gonna stop my video so I can focus on that. Yeah, before we get into Salesforce, just wanted to share some of the template field interactions from our demo page. And this page was built by our very own Win York, and she does, among other things, builds and manages our demo library. She's created this brilliant demo page of the new up and coming Boston release features. Today, I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to focus on a few. And that is, let's see, right here.
Andrew,
yes.
You've got a big monitor.
Big monitor. Okay, so I need to zoom in.
Zoom in a little bit. Yep. It's all good.
No worries. Awesome. So yeah, so you should be seeing template field actions.
Yes.
And this is what we're going to focus on today. Boston is releasing some really cool features for the template field. First, when you're in a table or a form, you could pop up a modal that displays like a reference field. In this case, we're talking about planets. So you could choose that and it's going to update that form. We could also tie into our action framework, and you could tie into some formulas and add some clickable actions like, for this instance, tipping, a price. Another thing that's really, if it's sensitive information or really important, you could display a pop-up modal before editing. And also you can do some really cool things with JavaScript. So if you wanted to execute a JavaScript snippet from the field, that's totally possible. And then, it's not limited to just those functions. You could also, click on a field and that could bring up a chart with more information. So these template field actions are really powerful. And I mean, it's good. I mean, I can't wait to show you what we can do with them in Salesforce. So,
yeah, so Andrew, just
yeah.
for those who have never experienced Skuid, the two primary components where you do data entry in the Skuid product are the form, which is and the table. So the form was the first one you were looking at. And in both of those components, you can either drag fields or you can drag a template, which lets you do kind of more free form. You could put HTML in that template. You can have more than one field at the same time in that template. And what this allows you to do is just kind of go to the next level with just completely interesting interactions that are triggered from that template. This is super cool. How much code did it take for Wen to build all this?
Oh, I'm gonna venture and say that this was 100% declarative.
What?
I know. I mean, once we go over to my page, everything that I built was declarative, so I could only imagine that she did the same.
Okay, well, let's go test you and see if that holds true.
Great. So Rob, what you see now is are we in Salesforce and with my opportunities? Is that what you see?
Yep, it's still a little small, so you
still small. Okay.
Blow this one up again as well. Sorry about that.
No worries. How about that? Is that better?
Yep. Looks really nice.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, here I've started to build out my opportunities with Skuid on Salesforce, and we have, it's very simple. I've just created a table with a list of open opportunities. And we've also added some account information to the opportunity list, such as the website, the account site, and the billing address. And so just want to kind of preface this. Before the Boston release, builders, we could do some style variants on the field using custom field renderers, but that was a feature flagged feature, and it cost a little more time to build out those types of features.
And a custom field renderer is one of the manifestations Skuid has of writing code. So yeah. Sure, you could do it. You could extend Skuid by writing code, but you had to write code.
Right. So like a custom field renderer may have to been pulled in to get this type of experience where the close date is past due, and you wanted to flag that on your table. Here we're doing this declaratively, and I'll show that to you at the end. But nice. I do want to kind of frame this up with, in order to, or before Boston, if you wanted to create an action from your table, there's a few things you could do. You could do row actions, and which was pulled that record in context. In this example, I'm just showing the opportunity information in like a detailed view. So really, it's a big part of the Boston release focuses on what you can do with the fields and how you display them in forms and tables. So yeah, so let's jump into the first type of template field interaction, and that's to display a message. So when I click on this website link, this is you're gonna see something like a message, and it's gonna notify the user that they're leaving Salesforce and going to an external site. And to me, like, why is that important? You're notifying the user, what's going on. It's a crucial part of the user experience and overall adoption. And also just in combination with like Skuid's other messaging tools like show message and block UI, toast messages, message blocks, and conditional rendering, you're giving the user just more information to do their job.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We're going to interrupt you just a second. I want to thank all of our attenders for being here. And we just want to say, if you guys do have questions or things that you want us to explore, please don't hesitate to stick that in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat, and some of my colleagues are as well. And we'll either answer them in the chat directly, or we might interrupt and bring those in. So keep going, Andrew.
Cool. Yeah, so for our next template field interaction, we are going to edit a related record from the field. And in this case, it's the billing address. So when I click on that, it's going to display a modal, and it's going to pull fields in from the related record on the account object. And it's, this is a place where I can now, instead of navigating to the account record, I can change the, if I see something wrong about this address, it's actually, 405 Avenue of the Americas. I can quickly save at the point of, where I'm viewing this information.
Wait. So I'm on an opportunity,
Mhm.
but I'm editing the account. I don't have to go to an account detail page to do that editing. That's
Right.
slick. And that is super, super slick.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, that's that's just the beauty of Skuid's data models, is that this page can pull in information and data from cross objects and connect them all together. It's something that I love about Skuid.
So we've always been able to, have multiple fields in a template, and you got a modal automatically. And if those fields were on the same object, you could edit them. But this is on a different object. How did you do this?
How did I do this? Well, I used, I can jump into the composer. You want me to do that really fast?
I mean, if you want to, don't have to.
Yeah, I will. It's a pretty simple one. So in the billing address, this is a template field. So this is, kind of a create what you want. I've pulled in information on the account. And in the interactions tab of the field properties, I've created a modal. And here, I actually, the model that this is related to is the account model. And I'm just pulling in the account that's related to that opportunity by using what we call context conditions. So when I click on something on the table, it's matching the ID of the account to the account ID on the opportunity. So it's really, really
so
nifty
that's
stuff.
all. So that account has been preloaded into memory, and you're just choosing the right one using the context conditions. That's really slick. If you've got millions of accounts, you might want to actually the template interaction might want to like pass
Query,
the ID
yeah.
and query a single account to return it. But this is super slick and super fast. Yeah.
All right, jumping back to the preview, my Salesforce page. So that was being able to edit related records from interaction. The last thing I want to go over for the template field interactions is kind of like building a reference field experience. And to do that, I'm going to click on this new opportunity page. I've selected a sliding panel for my new opportunity. Here, let's just fill out some information. We're a UI UX company, so our opportunity is going to be related to that. Let's do an audit and strategic plan. Now, just like those planets in that demo, the Boston demo org, I'm going to click on the account, and there's a deck experience where this is querying for accounts. And instead of like selecting from a list, or maybe there was a lot of information, I'm narrowing it down to like a deck with cards, and it's a pretty clear representation. I have the name with the industry and the city and the website and the phone. So this can all be customized on how you like it. I chose this just because it was some pertinent information that I think would have been important when you're choosing your account.
Cool.
Yeah, and what's cool is when I click on something, let's say Grand Hotels and Resorts, that action on the deck is passing in the account information to my opportunity. So I can do all of that without even leaving the experience, the page.
That's really slick.
I'm just gonna finish this up. That's a cheap one, $10,000 in UI audit. We'll have it. They're actually working pretty hard, so we'll push it off to January of next year, Q1. All right, so when I save that opportunity, the sliding panel goes away, and as you can see, the Grand Hotels accounts right here, and here is our latest opportunity that I've just created.
That's really fast. And so you said that modal that you opened up from the account is that do anything you wanted to there. That's completely use any of our components, query different models, pull in different data. Yeah, this is super, super strong. Something that we've wanted to do in Skuid forever and had never been able to do is, we have a standard reference field experience that brings up a list of the referenced records, but you've never been able to create a new record right there. And so here, because you're configuring all of this, you could have like a create new button right there in that select account modal, and define what the account is, and then pass that into the new opportunity. And in one step, create an account and an opportunity. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, totally. All right, so I'm gonna click out of that. So yeah, those are the three main parts of this little appetizer. It was
very cool.
Using the field template actions to call out a message, being able to edit something on a different object that's related, and then also using on a form. So this is just this is a form. Being able to use that template action to create like a custom reference field experience where you can use that to select or do other actions. So I mean, I think we have a little time left. How about I go ahead and show them custom, not custom, sorry, style variants on fields.
Yeah, show those. How did you get the conditional styling on those fields? That looks like you did it in Excel.
Yes. So it is very Excel-like, and a lot of times in our day, like when we're working, Excel is comfortable. Like we love color coding things, and we want to be able to highlight things that are great in green and kind of highlight things in red that are bad. So I'm going to jump in and show you. We'll use the amount column, and we'll say highlight opportunities that are more than 60,000 as our condition. So let's jump into the composer. And in the table, we're going to select this field, the amount field. And so the style variance, this doesn't have to be on a template field. This can be on any field. Okay. So we've chosen the amount field, and it's a pretty easy configuration. Let's navigate to the display logic in the field properties. And in this style variant condition section, we're just going to add a child. And when we select that, we're choosing which style variant to change to when the criteria is met. So I have 3 of them right now. I have high value, warning, and out of range. I'm going to select high value, and I'm going to jump to our Design System Studio to kind of give you an idea of how you would create a variant in the design system.
Let me stop you just a second and back up for the completely introductory statement. Skuid has 2 build environments. The page builder, which is what you saw Andrew working on before, is where you define data, the components, all those interactions. All of those depend on a design system. Right. And a design system is a different build experience. So often you might have a designer working on the design system and page builder building on the page builder. But the design system lets you define exactly what each of your components is going to look like, and then lets you apply what we call variants. So there's these 2 build environments, and they work hand in hand to create this seamless, glossy design experience that you're seeing.
Right. I got a little excited, Rob. Thanks for giving that background information. So yeah, in the Design System Studio, I've created 3 variants for the fields. And as you can see, it's out of range, warning, and high value. And the high value, it's going to be green because that's something to celebrate. You have a high valued opportunity. So just want to kind of give you background information on how we've set up those variants in the DSS, and then we're calling them in the page composer. So on the amount field, we're going into the properties, and we are going to call out that field needs to be highlighted green when it meets a certain criteria. And it's as simple as selecting the field value on the opportunity model, and the amount is going to be greater than or equal to, we'll give it 60,000. Awesome. So we'll do a save, and in our Salesforce app screen, we'll do a refresh, and hopefully the table will be, it'll have some green in there, showing some high value opportunities. All right, so yeah, so I mean, we have some high value opportunities, they're highlighted green. That's a great example of using the Boston releases style variants on the field level. And it doesn't have to be just one like condition. I mean, you can make tons of conditions. It can get as complex or as simple as you need it. So
it looked like the conditions, you could add multiple nodes, so that like on your close date, it looks like you have 3 different kind of variants, and each of those variants can have multiple rules underneath them. You could do some pretty crazy stuff. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think the close date, so I had 2. I had warning, and it was if it was greater than today but less than next month. So that kind of gives it a little window. And then the outer range was if it was less than today, so or equal to today. So yeah, you can add as many conditions, and you can also, you know, the complexity can get even better if you wanted to. All conditions are met, custom, any like it. Yeah, you can get really.
Yeah, you can do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah. Well,
and
awesome.
Again, remind me, how much code did you write?
Oh, this page was, I built this without any code. This was purely using Skuid's declarative framework.
And so just one final thing. I know you spend your days building out Skuid pages for customers. So you're an experienced Skuid builder. But this page, it took you, what was it, most of the week to pull this together?
No, I pulled this one page probably in less than 2 hours. And that was because, you know, I was definitely testing things. You know, I didn't have much. I would say my direction, I was very like, let's test to see how this looks. It was very iterative. Yeah, I was playing a lot. But to get this experience, I mean, if I had some, I would say some direction. If someone said, I need this table with this, and this, I mean, that, yeah, Rob, that would have been a really quick build.
This is amazing. This is amazing. So if there have been a lot of cheerleading in the comments, which is fun to see. But I wonder if there's any questions. So we're going to leave a minute here if there's any questions that people want to put up in the chat. And then just some reminders. Once again, the functionality that you saw today is part of our Boston release. That release is a release candidate is available of that package in our releases page, skuid.com/releases. We've been banging hard on it, testing it. We're really confident that it's a really solid release. Looking to go GA, get put on the AppExchange, hopefully in the next 10 days. But we're still providing it to all of you guys out in the wild, because we don't know the crazy stuff people do with Skuid. And so we want reports of how the Boston release interacts with all of the current functionality that you guys have built. We want some time to hone those things and get it right before we put it up on the AppExchange. And yeah, so you should look all the channels. In the next couple of days, there'll be more information about the Boston release. Social media, everywhere you find Skuid, you'll find information about the Boston release. Any final words, Andrew?
Any final words? Yeah, I mean, it's Boston release is incredible, and this is just a sneak peek of what's going to be, you know, out there come, you know, next week GA. So super excited for the next webinar as well. It's going to go way in depth of like what's to come with Boston, and yeah, it's amazing working in Skuid and how fast I'm able to create and iterate on these types of these applications. So. Thanks, Rob, for having me. It was fun, you know, working with this little App-etizer.
Very cool. Yeah. No, hopefully this has been a good short snack that's whetted all of your appetites for what Skuid can do. Skuid can do the things that you've seen today and a whole ton more. So if you're ready for a real meal, get in touch with us and we'd love to talk. Okay, guys. Thanks. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you later.
Thanks, y'all.